Hello. So we've got myself, Georgie here, and
Nicola Russell.
yes. So we're coming on to do a live today. We've just been on Nicola Russell's YouTube if you wanted to check out that video. But today we're going to be coming on live to talk a little bit about Starseed U and the light language offerings that are there, and specifically what Nicola Russell offers over at Starseed U as well. So if you'd like to stay with us, I'm going to drop all the details below as well when I post this, so you can find her as well. You're mainly on Facebook and YouTube, aren't you?
Yeah. The YouTube channel's called Remembrance into the Light. It's a little bit twee, but my guides really insisted on it. So it's just sort of like, I was like, really, is that what you want to call it? And I'm like, yes. Yeah. Remembrance into your light. So yeah.
So hello everyone that's joining.
Hi everyone.
So yeah, we're speaking just a little bit about the light language offerings that you have.
Yeah, it's beautiful working with you, and we spent the whole day together actually. We've had a little bit of lunch together and just cups of chicory and coconut water right now. And so we've been having a really good sort of connection day today, and had a little wander around and decided to go on live on my YouTube channel, and then we said we'd come on Instagram as well. So it's really lovely to connect with Georgia, and I've known you for a couple of years now, and we work very, very similar in ways but very different in other ways. The transmissions that I bring forward are again always working for the greater good of the soul. So the codes that I hold on Starseed U, on my transmissions, are on a series of 8 videos which work through all different areas of the energetic field. So the crown, the hands and feet, template adjustments. So very similar to your sort of transmissions that you have on there, and they also have a light language understanding called Understanding It. So if you've just joined in with the tribe of igniting your light language and you're not quite sure what's happening here and what's happening to you, I've got an Understanding Light Language course, and I've just literally completed and more of an advanced course with actually an intuitive healer course, which includes using your voice and dialect and fire codes into healing others. So that's also on Starseed U as well. So so thank you for letting me share all of that information. So all this information is out there for you all to help yourself in bringing forward your own guests and bringing forward your own understanding during your ascension process. Is that we've sort of been through the process ourselves, and really just want to share out this information so that it quickens your understanding as you move through the journey, which is can be quite confusing at times, can't it?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and we're talking about trust, wasn't we, today? A lot about how we need to sometimes just really trust ourselves and trust what's coming through, and how it truly is, what is divinely meant for us. We can not see what's going on in the outside world as what's happening within us. It looks kind of distorted, it looks suppressed, and then if we're opening up and feeling really like we want to express ourselves, but yet we're not seeing it, is it right what we're doing if it's not being seen outside? So we really want to learn how to trust that what we're doing is divine and sacred.
Yeah, definitely. It's the total feeling of how does it feel for you. Is that extra sensory perception of that intuitive understanding that when something starts to flow through you, or if you're being guided somewhere, or if synchronicities come up, so the universe, your guides, your inner guidance, to really sort of bring those synchronicities in together so that you can then journey towards and navigate towards where you're moving into with your ascension which is the understanding of yourself, the understanding of your soul. So it's an exciting journey, but sometimes very confusing.
Yeah. And so just wanted to ask you, Zola, if you had, what would be one example for you that would say that's helped you to really understand that information that's coming through, and like something that helped to push you into trusting that information?
I think that, you know, with my journey that started off with sort of really sort of a mainstream thought process of meditation and all of that sort of comes forward, there's this inner voice and inner knowing that comes forward. So whatever you are drawn to do is always about looking at it from a bigger picture, looking at it from an inward focus, which brings it on an outward focus of your mind. So sorry, I've got something coming through because one it says Giamaka wisiumaku ambaka wisiu giana a ilakiambako kamboko washana kianta shana kiata. Thank you. So sometimes my ego loses what I want to say because codes want to come out with the transmission of a fuller understanding from a co-creative perspective. But what was coming through, which was helped through that language and to translate it, is it's about the deepening of the heart and out of the mind. That giama amako awasyogian ale giamako kamoshokiana kiatan elamarasikiana kiatan. And it is feeling through the flow of the experience rather than the struggle of an experience. So whatever you do on your journey, it's about that inward reflection of the heart connection, and outwardly then you then move into flow, into intuitively being seen of where you're going, rather than from a thought process of, oh, is that right, do I need to do this? You know it, there's just this absolute knowingness, isn't there, and that trust and allowance of that to come forward. Was that the question that you asked? I can't remember what you asked me in the first place.
It was like, what's that example? But I thought you actually gave such a prime example of, like, you know, just trusting and allowing that higher self to just come in.
Yeah.
And totally, and that's just such a prime example of how it kind of gets that disturbance and that the dissonance or any kind of like foggy confusion that the ego mind might kind of cause trickery, and it just clears that out, doesn't it? And it really just, you just saw that kind of clear through to really deliver that beautiful information.
Yeah.
So if anyone has any questions that they want to ask Nicola as well, like, just drop them in.
Yeah, that would be really good to be of service. It's something that Georgia and I are, you know, we've been sort of speaking all day about this, is that it just is our absolute purpose to be of service, and sort of working through our understanding, now we can be of service to help you with your understanding. So it's important that we sort of collaborate, that we join together, that we're here to help you through that process, but it's to give you the empowerment and the tools for you to go on your journey. You know, there's no hierarchy in any of it. You know, somebody might be a footstep ahead, but it doesn't make them any better than you. It's just the understanding that's in my mind a pivotal point, is that you refine as you deepen your understanding of who you are with the journey that we're all taking, and you know, to whatever degree we want to take it. So the more that we can let go of the mind, move forward with the trust and allowance and the flow, the synchronicities will just all come in. They're just all come in and just fit. So if we go with that, then we just know that and trust that process, then it's all going to be good. For a better word, I don't know, but really good. Just feels good.
Yeah, it just flows, and it's just our innate being expressed. You know, I think this is why we do what we do, and you know, and why sometimes that we see these things happening to us before maybe we see it out in the collective and everything, is because it's like, it's about coming into being to allow those codes and that information to anchor through, so that others can receive that, and for it to be a part of the collective consciousness. You know, it needs to expand and grow as well, and that's why we share in the way that we do, so that we can all start to receive more and more. And this is why these sort of beautiful collaborations are so important. Yeah, so did you want to share any kind of like transmission?
Yes, I could do. Just sort of see what comes in and forward. So yeah, absolutely. Every time that we bring a transmission forward, it's always good to set our intentions, and our intentions are always for the greater good of your soul's journey, and we always sort of look to strengthen it towards the light perspective of ourselves, and just sort of cultivate the light within it. So just let go of everything that no longer serves you through all time and space, and just connect with your energy and my energy to receive these codes into the heart, and sort of see what we get from my guidance. Da kiama ama ku kaumboku awisi e na awasha ila kuria makai sukia awisukia oesha ila ma kawesho maku kampoku esha nagiet anash ila ma grasikianto kamaku ama darabai yoshu rasikianto kobali cute ila ma rasikiana bakokranto korasha Kia makora shokiam pokora si e ki e tant ora si esha e la mar shokion mar shokian makiata no grusha. So just let that settle within the energetic field, and with the outward breath just let go, and with the inward breath just bring in those codes to activate higher levels of consciousness. Damba busia we are kiamba ki esha ma kiamba ko kiava si kiamba ko kiavsa sha dau grasukyu mokoran ela ma grasikia tunamuk orashia kiana makia tonto orosha kiana kiata no makiata basukiat da shobara gana mokias antokorasi maris umakoro shukianto oroshikiat du siana margio do grasha nanto grasha kianto grasha sha. Thank you. Da siana maya shukiato. So it's about that connectivity through the heart space up into high levels of consciousness that bring in that innate gift, that ignition, that awareness, that trusting, that process to let it come in and center into the heart space, out of the head and into the heart. Alagiama aurishuki mokrasi kiada bana mokrasi kiana a Yashua Marish. Yeah, shumakiata. That's who it is, yeah. I do hope that's received well from you, and just let that integrate within the system, and allow it to flow through you to ignite that heart. That's you are. That is yeah, sure, my guilt.
See, joyful, you know, these movements, it can be expanded, it can be fun as well, and it's just brings so much joy into our heart. You know, when you feel into that, you feel what that feel is in your body. Like, you know, could it be anything else other than this like beautiful light energy? Because you can actually feel this transformation just happening in the cells of your body. It's so amazing, so transformative.
Yes, powerful
wow,
expression
that
of
was
light.
Amazing. It really was.
Yeah, I loved it. Thank you. That's your ma. Yeah, that is you.
Yeah, and gratitude, such a powerful divine frequency that we can all tap into as well now. Everyone wants to feel just into that, how thankful we can be for the gift of receiving this energy right now, and truly receiving the times that we're in and the upgrades that we're receiving for this time, so that we, you know, that we have access to this. You know, we're really lucky beings. I really do feel that. You know, we're so lucky that we've come here at this time to do what we're doing. You know, we get to be those beings, that soul expressing itself in that way. So, you know, honestly, if anybody does feel that they're on that verge and they're really wanting to move through that, but it's not potentially obtained right now for you, or there could be limiting and blocks that you have, you know, do come into Starseed You, have a look at what is available there. I know that Nicola does do these monthly like energy updates, don't you? And you help to lift blocks and do that so that people can actually access it for themselves. It's not like you always need to come and listen to others, that they help you so that you can do this for yourself.
Yeah, definitely. I think that sort of the transmissions, when they're, you know, the energy, I always call it in a time pocket now, and it is, you can pick it up and you can run with it. And I've got a lady that works with my whole set of codes, that she would literally sort of work through them. If she's, she actually said the other day, when she has a hangover, she uses the heart opening one, and so she goes into that and to sort of clear her energy. So you can use them as a tool, but I think that the idea is that you can use them as a tool, but they are your tools to use. So they may be the transmissions that's been facilitated through us. With Georgia's transmissions that she has on Starseed You also, is that you can use them as tools, but actually you are the one that releases it. So always remember that the empowerment is coming from you. And as those igniting layers, or that ignition of those layers of that distortion starts to leave you, your gifts start to come forward too. So then it enables you to sort of strip back a little bit of the density and the distortion, but the idea is to release that, to bring you forward, bring your gifts forward. It's your empowerment, but it quickens with light language codes or transmissions and your templates that you have. So everything is here. It's there for the taking, if you feel in resonance with it. If that clears the distortion from the field, it enables you to then bring forward your own gifts. And so this is, you know, because if everybody is feeling the way that we feel and working through our process, if we can give that gift to you, to ignite that within yourself, to be empowered, then, well, this world will change really quite rapidly.
Yeah, it's really, that's so true, isn't it? Yeah, the more that we do this for each other and work in this way, the more that we actually are enabling that for everybody. And it is really about bringing in that greater and wider expanded state of awareness and ascension and awakening, you know, for everybody.
It's like a quickening, isn't it? It's like a highway. Rather than taking the country lanes, it's taking the highway. You're going a direct route. If you're trusting your intuition, that you have that sense of guidance towards listening to somebody. Sorry, I can hear my dog sort of rubbing her nose against the sofa. Louise. But just go with the flow of it. That's what I'm trying to say before my mind was taken away from Louise.
Oh, she's like, come on, you've had enough now.
Yeah.
It's time.
Bless her. She does do that. She's scratching the door now. Shall I go grab her? There we go. Go grab her. There we go, grab her. Come here, Lily.
I wanted to ask you about the other bits that you do, because you do some other videos that aren't necessarily light language directed as well.
Yeah, on my YouTube channel, which is called Remembrance into the Light, as I said, I get downloaded information, and I call them my whiteboard informations. So what happens is the soul needs to have an understanding about the ascension process and everything that sort of happens on the journey. And so with that greater understanding, I channel the information through using my light language, and I then translate it. So I have these teachings, guidances that come through, which are sort of looking at emotional states, vibrations of lower frequency. That all sort of comes forward. So I learn at the same time as when I present something forward for you to sort of have a look at. So that's obviously on the channel, which is sort of sometimes sort of comes through sort of quite interestingly with the information that comes through. I actually get quite shocked sometimes. Have you seen some of the ones that I've done that are like, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So that's so that's on my YouTube channel. So go check that out as well.
Sarah's here.
Oh, is it Sarah? Oh, hi Sarah. Hi. So those sort of things are really important for us to have a greater understanding at a soul level of understanding, so that it's not just read, it's not just picked up by somebody else's information. You're getting that information that comes through, and whether that resonates with you or not, it's interesting that if you can see that gift has been ignited with me, remember it gets ignited within yourself as well. And we can start tapping into all time and space, so within the quantum field. So as you sort of start to journey into the greater understanding of who you are, you can then move through all time and space beyond this incarnation, and start to actually pick out what is it that you past lives. And especially these energies at the moment, they're really sort of shining lights on all of this sort of distortion that we would have carried over from lifetimes and ancestral lines, and so all of this needs to be cleared at the moment. So everything that we share on Instagram or Facebook or YouTube is all there to help you upgrade your understanding of who you are and what you're doing here. So as well as the online courses that we provide, there are also lots of free content that we bring forward to help you on your journey as well. And also we have one-to-ones as well. So we're here as service for mentoring and healing, as well as group work. So it's all good. It's all good.
Got you covered.
We've got you covered, guys. But then once you get that igniting in your own right, then you go and you create those ripples out, and you then stand with your mission, with your understanding, and you move that forward, and it just grows and grows and grows, and that's where we create our new world. So it's important to do so. So be in your authenticity and strength and empowerment. That's what I say.
Yeah, definitely. Stand in it, because this is what we're here to do, is to remember that within ourselves, because that's what transforms. If we're all still sitting in that kind of lack and programming that what we're doing isn't enough, and it's not acceptable or deemed worthy in society, then it just maintains that, doesn't it? And then how are we to evolve? How are we to really truly change the constructs that are actually keeping people either in a state of hierarchy or in in some cases poverty? We need people like ourselves, who are compassionate and loving to all beings, to actually be able to stand forward and make those changes for the collective. And once that starts happening, more and more start to be empowered and start to living from that space. I always go back to a film that I watched when I was a kid called Bug's Life. If anybody's watched it, and if you haven't, you should still watch it. I don't care what age you are, because it just really was a representation of the ants working as their collective to stand up for themselves, for their community, and to live a better life, and not have these sort of like small little percentage of like grasshoppers that were coming in and taking all their harvest. You know, they were doing all the work, and these grasshoppers were taking all their harvest, but they stood up for themselves. They realised that they didn't need to live that way, and they worked together.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what we can learn from that and do that. And that's a bit sidetracking, but it's kind of the same.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And you know, these sort of analogies that that we can sort of draw upon, and all of this information that's out there, it's just whether you see it. It's whether you see it. The clues are all there. The synchronicities are all there. It's just whether you can see it or not. So it's being open to all that's being presented, and if there's something that's not sitting right, then ask, why does that not sit right? Is there a layer of distortion that is in front of you, a layer of emotional states that you know, that keeps you in a cycle of an experience? You know, just look at it and go like, hang on a minute, that happened to me a year ago, and why is that repeating? It's because a lesson hasn't been learned. Something's not been cleared from the system. Something's not been shifted with the evolution of your soul. So the universe represents the same cycle again. So when we let go of things that keep being represented, then it enables you to then again grow stronger and stronger and stronger. And that's how, you know, when we first met, the difference in both of us is just, it's crazy. So it's about the expansion of the soul and not keeping in cycles of experience. It's recognizing the cycles and moving you onto a greater understanding of yourself, the expansion of the soul. And you know, even if we look at our dialects, we're speaking about that today, about the different dialects that we've been getting through, because we're moving into higher resonances to pick up on the dialects that are coming through into our reality, that we're anchoring down into physicality. So just know that there are stages, there are processes to go through, and every time it's going to be right. So you can't go wrong on anything. It's an experience. It's just an experience. It's a game that we're playing, and the more that we can tap into that, the sort of
awareness as well. The more awareness we have on it, the more you know, ability we have to play it in a way that is serving us and nourishes us and supports us and everyone around us. You know. Yeah, very true. Very true. Well.
That was lovely, wasn't it?
It was indeed.
Yes, it was really nice. We've had a really lovely day.
We have indeed.
And yes, and thank you very much for joining us.
Yeah. And so if anyone wants to watch the video of us talking over on YouTube, then do head to Nicola's YouTube channel. That's called Remembrance Into the Light as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
So if you can type in Nicola Russell or Remembrance to the Light, and you'll find that video on YouTube and all of her other wonderful YouTube videos. Lots of free teachings on there. She gives a lot of information there, and there's a lot on there because you've been doing it for a few years now.
Yeah, there's a lot of content, and I've recently just had my hair cut, so most of it would actually see me with long hair. It is me. I've just had it all knocked off.
Transformation, you know,
big transformation.
Cutting off the old
old energy. It needed to go. Just needed to go, and then it'll have that regrowth. Just know that everything, if you lose something, if something has to go, just know that it all transforms and changes. So from that transformation, it all just works out for your greater good. So just know that.
Space for new stuff to come in as well.
So
thank you everyone who's joined. If you joined late, then obviously watch back on the replay, because we did share, or Nicolas shared a really beautiful transmission that's just, you know, you want to watch that if you like this video. You two look gorgeous. Thank you so much.
Sweet.
So cheers everybody, and have a good evening, have a good full moon, and also just check out Starseed You, see if there's anything that you resonate with, and always can come and talk to us personally, message us if you have any questions. So yeah, loads of love. Bye now.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.